Nightmare here, and today we'll continue reading the final chapter of Rose, the Shade of Love and Lust. I'll be reading to you guys the sequel to the story, but right now I hope you guys enjoyed the final chapter of this story. Before we get started, please hit that like button, comment, subscribe to this channel if you guys want more creepypasta fanfictions out there. Until then, let's get started. Flashback. That's what I've been trying to tell you, John. This is being a big chance for the house. My mama argued with my papa. He shook his head and was steering the wheel. It was raining outside. I could hear thunder crashing above my head. It was so loud and shocking, and flashes of light making my little 6-year-old head hide under the blanket that I had. I still didn't think that it was such a good idea with Skylar being so young still. It would have been a big impact on her life with being a bigger sister, and back in British Coma she was with her grandmother. That didn't actually bond well. He trailed off as a small droplet of water pounded on the windshield. Small droplet of water trailed down the windows. I know, but I think this can make it better, Mama insisted, but Papa just sighed, obviously stressed and tired. Fine, but we'll do it, but something crashed above as Mama screeched at Papa to stop. It was too late. A large branch fell down on top of the car, all of a sudden impacting, crashing it to snap, and Papa was to steer the car away into the railing. Time slowed as the fatal spot of the car snapped, pushing through his chest. Blood leaked out as he took a shaky breath. I looked out from underneath my blanket at him, tears streaming down my face. Mama was not awake, as she had blood on her head and arms. Mama, Papa, please wake up, you yelled at the top of my little lungs. Mama still didn't wake. It was the sound of another car pulling up behind us. I was scared. Skylar. My papa looked at me, blood running down his mouth. My blue eyes turned to him as his hand shakily touched my cheek. I will always love you, sweetheart. Don't you ever forget it. Papa said between gasps as his breathing became more shallow. I promise, Papa. I said it to him before his eyes got glossy. The sound of sirens in the distance before everything faded to black. End of flashback. And another flashback. Mom hasn't been doing well ever since Dad died in the crash. Even though it was 9 years ago. Mom, are you okay? I asked through the door for the last 100th time this time. Yeah, I'm fine, honey, she lied. Not buying it, I opened the door to see her crying in bed again. Mom? I trailed off, not sure how to react to any of this. She looked at the picture of my father and someone next to him. I looked a little like you, but how is that possible? And the way what if the scene suddenly turned black as I heard a voice calling out my name. And the flashback. Skylar! Skylar! A voice echoed to me. It was hazy yet unfocused as my hearing rang. Huh? I tried to form other words, but I couldn't. My head was wrapped around as I looked for the voice. A fender hazily from the stood over me. His face was stained into a frantic worry. You worried. You're worried about me, I chuckled weakly. A fender grinned and held me in his arms. I'm so glad you're alive. I thought I lost you. He trailed off and seemed to be lost in words. I lifted my hand up slowly to caress his cheek, only to stare that my hand was bigger and white. What? My eyes were wide and shocked. Offender rubbed his neck in a nervous way. I might have panicked, and Offender was interrupted by Slender, Splendor, and Trinder all walking into what was the room of Eyeless Jack's surgery room. I'm glad to see you're awake, child, Slenderman said with his arms behind his back. Splendor, already happy posing, it seems to go over at the time as he looked to be struggling to stay in one place. Slender nodded to Offender. It seems that it has worked, he says. What worked? I questioned as I looked at Offender. Offender chuckled nervously and he looked at me. How can I put this? Offender was cut off by Slender yelling happily, A Slender! A Slender. Wait, does that mean running my own long point tentacle tongue over my teeth? They were sharp. At the point I still had my normal brown hair, and it was longer, just past my shoulders. Looking at the mirror in the corner of the room, I saw that I had no eyes, a mouth just like Offender. I roughly was around 6, maybe half meters tall. My chest was worn in a black t-shirt that contrasts with the white of my skin perfectly. But what was really standing out was now that I had bigger breast size. My legs had some sweats that on with flower patterns, and along with it goes down with it. It was a crescent of rose and with a line. I'm sorry if you hate me, Offender said, hanging its head. Mad. I hugged him with a smile as I brought him close to me. His big arms wrapped around my body. Why would I be mad when you saved my life? I asked him. Offender shrugged. You did indeed die, child, but we were brought back as a Slender by Offender's blood. Slender pointed out. Wait, blood? Ew! I shrieked back, sticking out my tongue at Slender's brothers laughed. You're alive! A voice of my best friend, Noah, tackled me into a big hug, smiling and hugging. I hugged back. She was smaller than before. I swear to fucking God, if you died, I would have been bringing Zalgo's head back with me and shove it on a pole through it. She yelled happily, tears streaming down her face. It's okay, I'm fine. I comfort her. She looked up at me and laughed. Okay, you're a freaking Slender, she laughed out loud. A white tentacle hit her behind the back of the head and she glared at Offender. Child, I'm afraid that's not what you have to have with a new body. You will have to feed on other things than normal food, Slender said. What do you... Oh, I get the meaning of this. You'll have to kill to devour. But until she gets her abilities under control, Offender objected. Slenderman nodded. I smirked at him. Wow, when do you think like that so much, Offender? Noah said as I looked down at her. And now I looked at the shrimp coming to me. The taste, and she hit my arm about it. I am not tiny. No, objected. I laughed and lightly at her. This was my family, and now and forever. Offender, my love, and the rest of my life, Skylar became a new Slender. The beginning about to begin. But can you not help think about the woman in the picture? Who was she? The end.